Assalamu everybody. Hope you guys are doing good. Welcome back for another amazing video. Today we're going to be talking about the concept of riba, interest, usury, and why it's been said to be haram and why it's been said to be waging war against Allah and His Prophet. Now, in essence, I'm giving you guys a few reasons. I'm not going into details. I will be linking the researchers in the description below. These researchers go into detail as to why, how they cause destruction in society, in our day-to-day lifestyle, XYZ, and I'll get to details of that. So do check out those researchers in the description below because understand the entire concept. And in 10 minutes, I can't really explain to you why. So let's get this thing started. So one of the major reasons as to why interest is known to be non-permissible or not a good way to make that mashallah money is because it has exploitation of the poor. In essence, loans in Islamic finance are a form of help, are a form of charity, you can say, in some forms, and it's not to, you know, put people down. It's a form of uplifting people and to help them. And when you put an interest on that loan, it becomes a form of making business and money on it. So the bare concept of a loan goes away. That's and then that kind of leads towards the poor being exploited to make that return on investment, because the poor need that money to grow themselves, grow their communities, and make things happen for themselves. So one major reason is the exploitation of the poor, and this exploitation is done by the rich. So one of the major forms of this you can see is that there's people who literally would give off big loans and just keep churning on these same people again and again, especially in developing countries. And even in developed countries, it's really bad. You should look at what happens in London and in America when somebody doesn't pay off their debt. So they get exploited, they get harassed, they get a lot of this stuff, and it's just a really bad scene. And now moving forward, that exploitation of the poor makes the rich richer, and so that's the issue. It's the imbalance within society, right? That's another big issue within Islamic finance. The imbalance within society of wealth is what causes greater issues also. So that's another reason as to why riba is a big no-no. And one thing we need to understand as a bare concept of loans is that it's not supposed to be used to destroy society, destroy people, destroy homes. It's supposed to uplift people and help them out in need, all right? And you can see how interest is quite the opposite. It makes people greedy. It forces people to exploit others. It forces, it makes people do things that they wouldn't have done in normal occasions. For example, the 2008 market crash. That was because of leveraging. That was because of over take of debt, and people just selling debt, like giving away, banks just giving away mortgages like without any full proper understanding of will this person be able to pay it back. And all of a sudden, when everybody defaults, the entire economy crashes, and everybody in the world was affected by it. And so except this is a fun fact here. Islamic banks were not affected by, and there's research on this, and I can also link that research for you guys. Islamic banks were not affected by the 2008 market crash as much as the Western banks and other developed country banks. And this was because they're not heavily based on interest, and also because they're not doing unethical practices. So that's a whole different conversation. We can go into that later. Back to the main topic as to why riba is not permissible. Another issue with riba and why it's not permissible is the concept of making money on money, and a sense of not having to put any efforts to get that money back. Like there's no efforts involved or labor or even risk. Some people are like, okay, well, passive income is halal, but you're not doing a lot of work to get to get passive income. Well, yes, but there's still a risk of you losing your house, or your house being broken down, or some renters breaking the door, XYZ, right? So there's still a risk, and there's a physical asset, right? But here, with loans and with interest, it's not like that. It's you give it and it's like a bond. You're kind of guaranteed to get that money back. Even if people default, you can sell that bad debt and to get your money back, because the next person who's going to buy that bad debt is going to harass the people who had taken the initial loan and try to get that debt times 2, 3, 4, because of that compounding effect on interest. That's the whole reason why interest is beloved by many people when it comes to making that passive income or making income, is because you can compound it continuously. If somebody doesn't pay, you can keep putting on more charges, and by the time you realize, on $100 loan, you'll be paying like $60, $70 on top in interest. And in today's day and age, you can say, oh, in the Western world, it's only 1%, 2%. That's not a big deal. That's how much inflation is. Well, if you do the compounding effect, that 1 to 2% grows quick. And imagine when there was a time when there was 20% on mortgages and other forms of loans. Another reason why interest is known to be impermissible is because the concept of development of human. Now, this is a very small topic. Not a lot of people talk about it. It's the concept of when you have money and you just give it up as a loan and earn on interest. There's not a lot of development in you as a human. What you're doing is just giving up money, making money back on it, and living off of that. When there's a concept of loan in Islamic finance, it's a form of equity. It's a form of a partnership. So when you give that money, one, there's risk concept, but two, you're also developing yourself as a human because you're making those engagements, you're making those partnerships. You're probably going to have to help out the other person with the business because your money's at stake. So there's that concept of engagement where a human is growing and also the community is growing. When you're giving loans and there's nothing being like, for example, somebody takes a loan from you because they can take a loan and you're just going to charge them interest on it, but tomorrow it turns out that there's somebody who's really not that smart and they're not going to do much with that business, or they're not going to be able to do anything with that money, they're not going to start a business or do anything with it, then your money is kind of going to use no use for the community. It's not going to use towards yourself, it's not going to use towards that person. Also, that person is just going to use that money, do bankruptcy, and bang, you just lost your money. Or as a bank, the bank just lost their money and all that stuff. But even if with you, if somebody says I can't pay it back, I can't pay it back, well, there's not much you can do about it either, right? You can't go exploit somebody for it now. So another thing just to think about. So now, Ahmed, how do I get money, man? How do I get loans? Like I need to get things, I need to buy stuff. I if people need loans, how do you function without loans? Who says Islam doesn't have loans? Islam does. As I said in the beginning, Islam has loans as a form of help rather than it being a form of exploitation. It has equity-based loaning. It has mudaraba, musharaka. And you can watch my Islamic mortgages video, and I'll link it up here. And I kind of talk about the different concepts of loaning, and that's just for mortgages. There's also minor loans or micro loans for businesses and stuff like that. And you can look into Islamic banking. The entire Malaysian market, Indonesian market, the Arab Peninsula. There's so many Islamic banking. I mean, Pakistan has so much Islamic banking too. You can check out all of them, and they all function very well. And there's people who are taking out loans based on equity. There's people taking out loans based on deferred payments and XYZ. So you can check out those, and there's ways to take those loans. Now, Ahmed, what do? I live in the West. There is no Islamic banks here. So what? For that, I would refer you to check out fatwas on in regards to which specific form you're trying to borrow and how you can do it, because that would be a very long video, and I don't think this video will do justification for those questions, because those questions are very, very, very detailed, and I'm not a scholar, and neither is this a fatwa. Remember, I'm never giving fatwas. I'm just giving my opinion, and so just be careful about the loans that you take in the West. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick intro as to why riba is haram, and it's not a good way to make that mashallah money. And in essence, it can. It's not good ethically. It's not good morally. It's not good religiously. It's not good for society. It's not good for you either. So why get involved with it? And also, Surah Al-Baqarah directly says it's like waging war against your God and His Prophet. Inshallah, in the upcoming videos, I will also be talking about what other forms of investing trading is also unethical and a not good way to invest, trade, and all that stuff, which kind of leads them towards impermissibility. Now, all of the stuff that I've said, you might be like, okay, well, that you didn't go into details, and that's fine. A 10-minute video is already long enough. A lot of people don't like watching it. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to link you guys to all the different researches that I have. And I'll try my best to just kind of give the ones that are main, which kind of give you guys a basic understanding of what riba is and why it's impermissible and all that stuff. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to actually link these different researches in the description below. Talking about all the things that I've already talked about, plus on top of that, the concept of how Islamic banks weren't affected by the 2008 market crash as much as the Western banks were, and how the economies weren't affected as much either. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Share this with your brothers and sisters and all those uncles, aunties who are sending you rishtas. Send them this instead so they can be busy with watching my videos. Check out my other social media. And yeah, take care. Assalamu. Do subscribe, like, share, hit that bell icon for notifications. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram for more content. I'll be uploading more stuff in all of these social media websites. Thanks. Take care. Salam. Bye.